Okay, now we will see our second genetic parameter, that is genetic correlation. So this is also a very important genetic correlation. So what is the usual meaning of correlation? That we will see that if there are two variables x and y, they are correlated or not, means there is having some relation between them or not. So just like here, two characters may be correlated. If I write two characters may be correlated due to common genetic factors or genetic or genotypic or common environmental factors or both. So two characters may be correlated due to common genotypic factor. Actually, what is this? P is equal to G plus E. So if we see outer appearance, that is phenotype, it is related to genotype and environment. So so two characters, suppose PX and PY is there. Z, so here GX, GY, EX, EY. Two characters X and Y are there. So they can be related due to the common genetic effect. Suppose these genetic effects are common, or these environmental effects are common. So due to this, two traits or two characters may be correlated to each other. Now what are the different causes of correlation? So yesterday I told tell you about pleiotropy. So what was that pleiotropy? Anyone? What is pleiotropy? One gene will govern more than one trait. Okay, so suppose this is particular gene which is governing color. For example, I am taking, and this one single gene is suppose this is particular gene, and this is governing color also. This is governing height also, and this single gene is governing too many traits. So due to pleiotropy, the trait means these characters will be correlated to each other. That's why one gene will govern more than one trait. So due to actually only single gene is governing too many characters, so there will be correlation between the characters. So this is the main cause of correlation. Second cause is linkage. So linkage is what? Two genes are linked. If two genes are linked to each other, then there will be correlation. Okay. Third one is heterozygosity. So see, this is homozygous, this is homozygous recessive, this is homozygous dominant. Now capital A small a is there, that is heterozygous. So if there is more heterozygosity, it means there is a correlation between capital A and small a. Okay, so these three causes are there for genetic correlation. One is pleiotropy, that is more important cause, linkage, and heterozygosity. Now if we see that some its mathematical part, So we have two characters x and y, and if I write sigma square p for x is equal to sigma square g x plus sigma square e x, simply just p is equal to g plus e. From here I am writing the same thing for y also. Now tell me, what is the formula of correlation? What is the simple formula of correlation? Bolo. Simple. Usual formula of correlation is
So variance of x and y by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y under the root.
sigma x sigma y, isn't it? So we will calculate, suppose I will calculate here sigma square p, sigma square p have written here. Now if we calculate the covariance, so sigma p x comma y, that will be sigma a x comma y plus sigma r x comma y. If I write a plus r, simply if I write this g in e, so I told you that if I write p is equal to g plus e, and this is a plus d plus I plus e, and if I have written this is additive genetic effect and this is non-additive genetic effect. So R I am taking as a covariance. Now if I write Rg, that is genetic correlation, Rg is equal to, this will be sigma g x y upon sigma g x sigma z y. Similarly, if I write Rp, so this will be sigma py x comma y upon sigma p x sigma p y. Simple, same formula, just we have to change the subscripts. Okay, so I can find the Ra also and Re also. For environmental, for additive effect, I can calculate. Now, what will be our RP? That is correlation of the, that is genetic correlation. So that will be sigma g x comma y plus sigma e x comma y. If I write this p into this g and e divided by sigma p x plus into sigma p y. Okay. Now if I bifurcate this, like this sigma g x comma y upon sigma p x and sigma p y. Sorry, we will take this portion for one and again same portion for this, plus sigma e x comma y upon sigma p x sigma p y. So see, I can write it hx hy sigma g x comma y upon sigma g x sigma g y. Can I write it this? What is hx? What will be hx? This is heritability in broad sense. What will be hx? This will be sigma g upon sigma p, isn't it? So if I write instead of sigma p x, this instead of sigma px, I can write sigma gx upon hx. So from here I can write this. Okay, because broad sense heritability is what? Sigma square g upon sigma square p. So I can write this. Likewise, I can write ex ey and similarly sigma e x comma y upon sigma e x sigma e y. Okay, so this is what, this is our Rp, and I can write this is, now see what is this, this is Rg, I have written here. Okay, so this we have bifurcated it, hx hy Rg plus ex ey Re. So this direct formula can come in the exam. What is the formula of genetic correlation? So this is for the population. If I write for the this is for in by using broad sense heritability. If I write P for using narrow sense heritability, then it will be small hx, small y, R A. Instead of Rg, I will write Ra plus Ex Ey Re. Okay. Any doubt in this? So this is on the basis of broad sense heritability. This is on the basis of narrow sense heritability. So this is about the genetic correlation. Now we will see the importance of this genetic correlation. First important is this will give an idea about to which the two characters are under control of same set of genes. If our characters are correlated, then we can say they are under control of the same set of genes. So this will gives an idea about the extent to which the two characters are under control of same set of genes. Second one, if correlation is high, then what is it is represent? It will represent that pleiotropy is more important. More important means single gene will be there will be single gene and they will affect or govern more than one characters. And if correlation is very less, then we can say that two characters are inherited independently. Two characters inherited independently means there is no correlation. Independently, or we can say they are under control of different set of genes. Different set of genes. Okay, so this is the importance of correlation. Any doubt in this? Is there any doubt? Okay, so in I think in 2015 ARS, the question was this, that on the basis of narrow sense heritability, what is the genetic correlation? So there are too many options like H combination of capital HX, capital HY, likewise the options are there. So we have to select the narrow sense heritability. So they option like option may be like this: RP is equal to H small hx hy Rg plus Ex Ey EH is EY RE. This one option. Second one HX HY RA plus EX EY RE. Third option RP is equal to capital X HY RG plus EX EY RE. Fourth option HX HY RA plus EX EY RE. So So what is the genetic correlation on the basis of narrow sense heritability? So on the basis of narrow sense, our correct option will be correct option will be this, because this is our narrow sense heritability, and in narrow sense our additive genetic variance will become, or and now this is additive genetic correlation. So this is correct option. Okay, so this type of question may be there. Now third genetic parameter is repeatability. That is also given by Lush. Okay, now we will see that what is repeatability. So repeatability is just for that characters, for the characters which are repeatable over time, which are repeatable over time. For example, can anyone give an example? Which characters are repeatable? Just like milk yield, or we can say fleece character in sheep, that woolen characters, egg production in poultry. So these type of, or we can say milk yield or lactation yield. So these characters are there which are repeatable over time. So this repeatability is a measure of, it is a measure of association, measure of association between the records. So suppose 2017, 2018, 2019 and 2020, 21. So if we see that 2017 milk yield record, so there will be some record on 18, there will be some record 19, there will be milk yield. So this is a measure of association between the records, or we can say repeated records of an individual is provided by repeatability, and it is represented by R. Okay, so this, or we can write it as small r, no problem, small r. So this is repeatability. Now it is a, what is repeatability coefficient, or we can say that it is a fraction of total variability please ignore if the spellings are mistake. Fraction of total variability among individual records due to permanent difference. So it is a, what is the repeatability coefficient R, that it is a association between record, that is repeated record. So small r is fraction of total variability among individual records due to permanent difference. Of that difference can be, that difference can be both genetic or environment. So milk yield can be milk yield can be differs from one year to another year due to genetic differences or due to environmental effects. Okay, and this 1 minus r is a fraction of variability caused by fraction of variability caused by temporary effect, temporary circumstances. So it can be vary from one record to another record. So R is fraction of total variability among individual record due to permanent difference. Permanent difference may be like genetic difference and environment. And 1 minus R, it is a fraction of variability caused due to temporary circumstances. So if I see this, if I bifurcate this, our environmental variance sigma square E is equal to sigma square EP plus sigma square ET. So this P is permanent and T is temporary. So this second one condition, temporary one, is for this temporary environmental effect, and this is permanent environmental effect. Okay, so suppose there is one area. Suppose I am taking one example that this Dang area of Gujarat only having the rainfall in monsoon. There the rainfall in monsoon. Suddenly the rainfall is in winter season or summer season, so there will be temporary, this type of effect will be temporary environmental effect. Okay, due to this change, if there is change in our repeated records, so that will be fraction of variability that is caused by temporary circumstances. Okay, just like if we see that that Thar or some area whichever having feeling this adverse effect, and suddenly the rainfall come there, so there that will be temporary circumstances to particular area. Okay, so this type of environmental effect are temporary. So now we can say that repeatability is fraction of the variation, fraction of variation composed of xenotypic variation, that is sigma squared z, and the variation due to environmental factor, that is we are considering sigma square EP, permanent environmental factor, to the total phenotypic variation, that is sigma square P. Okay, and this variation is known as, is called as intra-class correlation coefficient. Between repeated records. So this is important, that repeatability is a measure of intra-class correlation coefficient between repeated records. Okay, So this is important regarding repeatability. So repeatability is nothing but it is a correlation only. It is a association that R is equal to sigma square G plus sigma square E permanent effect divided by sigma square P. So this is the fraction of genotypic variance and phenotypic environment effect that is permanent to the phenotypic effect. And the range of this, what is the range of intra-class correlation coefficient? What is the range of intra-class correlation coefficient? Anyone? After 20 days you have exam and you don't know that what is the range of intra-class correlation coefficient. Vinay, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What is the range of correlation coefficient?
-1 to +1, sir.
And what is the range of intra-class correlation coefficient?
-1 by n-1 to 1.
Okay. And what is the range of regression coefficient?
-∞ to +∞.
Okay. So that intra-class correlation coefficient is it depends on the number of classes, isn't it? That -1 to I think 1 by k, something is like that. Isn't it? So here if we write the range of intra-class correlation coefficient, so this will be the upper limit of heritability. So that is 0 to narrow sense heritability, that is broad sense heritability, and R to 1. So we will write, the question will be like what means what is the upper limit of heritability. So question will be like what is the upper limit of heritability. So repeatability is known as the upper limit of heritability. Repeatability or is upper limit of heritability. So this is the range of this. Now what is the importance of repeatability? Suppose repeatability is high, then what is its meaning? If the repeatability is high, then we will say that first record will tell us everything about the particular variable. And we will do the selection on the basis of first record. Just like in principal component analysis. Do you remember, you know that what is principal component analysis? In which few components, just like if we make principal component 1, 2, likewise if there are n variables, so we will make n principal components, but that few principal components will explain highest variability. So this, just like this, we can say that few early records will tell everything regarding the our data. Suppose lactation yield. So few earlier records will tell what is the scenario, what is the trend of the lactation yield or of particular area. So same concept is here. Principal component, suppose this first principal component is telling 60% of variability, second one is telling like 10%, this one is 5%. Likewise if we add on, if we see the cumulative, so these three are telling us about 75% of variability, rest will very less. Okay, so this is the concept of this. Like now we will move our next topic, that is inbreeding. What is inbreeding, किसी को पता है? What is inbreeding? या फिर इनब्रीडिंग डिप्रेशन सुना होगा, किसी ने सुना है?
due to continuous selfing.
हाँ, कंटिन्यूअस सेल्फिंग से क्या होगा?
Adverse effects.
कैसा एडवर्स इफेक्ट? जैसे सपोज ये मेरी पॉपुलेशन है, कैपिटल ए कैपिटल ए कैपिटल ए स्मॉल ए स्मॉल ए स्मॉल ए. अभी मैंने सपोज आई डिड द सेल्फिंग ऑफ दिस. सो क्या होगा इसमें? कैपिटल ए कैपिटल ए कैपिटल ए स्मॉल ए स्मॉल ए स्मॉल ए, ये फर्स्ट जनरेशन बनी, ठीक है, ऑफ सेल्फिंग. फिर हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे क्या मिलेगा हमको? 1/2 1/4 1/4 1/2 1/4, ठीक है. फिर मैंने इसकी सेल्फिंग करी. ओके, फिर हमको यहाँ पे क्या 1/2 है इसकी, रिमेंबर. सो इसके बाद हमने सेल्फिंग करने के बाद क्या मिलेगा यहाँ पे? 1/8 1/2 4 1/8. इससे क्या हो रहा है? हेट्रोजाइगस आर reducing, isn't it? मतलब होमोजाइगसिटी इज इंक्रीजिंग. heterozygosity is reducing. So it means there will be, I can say, the variation is decreasing. Variation in the progeny is decreasing. So there will be, that's why we will call this inbreeding depression. अभी सारी कुछ जनरेशन के बाद क्या होगा? पॉपुलेशन में कोई वेरिएबिलिटी नहीं रहेगी, सब एक जैसे होंगे. All progeny will be homogeneous. There will be no variability. So that is known as inbreeding depression. मतलब उसमें heterozygous superiority होगी नहीं. इसलिए तो हम बोलते हैं कि that if the parents are distantly related, that's why we say that if the parents are distantly related means बहुत different area के अगर हैं, suppose एक parent यहाँ से है this part and another parent from this part, so we can say there will be more variability in their progeny. So that is heterozygous superiority. So superior progeny or superior offspring will be there. Okay, if I tell the human being example, suppose some North Indian person marry with a South Indian girl. North Indian man marry with South Indian lady, so their children will be, there will be hybrid vigor in their children. There will be hybrid vigor, or they will be superior, or there will be heterozygous superiority. But I'm not saying see, if I'm not going for the, what we can say, that what we call this means, if I take the example of Muslim peoples, so there, or not a region or not a particular area, suppose I'll take Christian peoples, or I can take example of Parsi peoples. So if they are doing marriages and all in particular area or particular their same caste and same in relation, okay, so there will be reduction of heterozygosity. There will be reduction of heterozygosity among them. So there will be what? Inbreeding depression. Now if we take the example of crops and all, so suppose what they do in new varietal development, new varietal release or new varietal development, they breeders take few germ plas from this area, few germ plas of this area of particular region, few germ plas here from different area. They will take the germ plas and they will do crossing of them. Out of that germ plus particular, suppose I am doing research in Dang district or particular area South Gujarat this area, okay, and I am doing experiment on chilies, and I am working on the new variety of chili. So I will take the germ plus from North India. I will take germ plus of West Bengal. Means germplasm meaning I will take few their regional varieties from North India, from West Bengal, from Eastern India. Likewise, I will collect the germplasm and I will do the crossings, and from that we will cross our regional variety, that is from South Gujarat and from the other areas. Then we will have the heterozygous superiority and hybrid vigor in the offspring. Okay, so this is the means back of the inbreeding, that due to selfing or due to other means selfing, the heterozygosity will reduce from generation to generation. So this is known as inbreeding. So it is a mating system in which individuals are more closely related to each other than the average population. So what is the definition? We can say it is the mating system in which individuals are more closely related to each other than the average population. So this type of mating system is known as inbreeding, or in which we can say that individuals are related to each other by ancestry. So their ancestors are related, so and their ancestors are closely related, so their offspring will also closely related to each other. Okay, just a minute. Okay, now what are the consequences that of inbreeding? What are the means effect of inbreeding? First one is proportion of homozygous will increase. Second one, proportion of heterozygous will reduce. Okay, now, and we can say that probability of the inbreds inheriting identical genes from parents will increase. So there will be increment in the identical genes from their parents. So from their parents, identical genes will transfer in the offspring. Fourth one is the self fertilization. Selfing is more important, or we can say selfing is the main cause of inbreeding. Okay, so these are the consequences. Now at each, if I ask, if the question is like what at each generation how much percentage of heterozygosity will reduce, कोई बता सकता है? At each generation how much percentage of heterozygosity will reduce? अभी मैंने एग्जांपल में बताया था that in first generation the heterozygous was 1 by 2, in next 1 by 4, in next it will be 1 by 8. So कितना हो रहा है ये? बोलो बोलो, कितना परसेंट रिड्यूस हो रहा है? It is reducing 50%. Okay, so from generation to generation, from one generation to another generation, it will be halved in each generation. So we can say the proportion of heterozygosity is halved in each generation. In each generation, it will be half. Okay. Now there are different definitions of this coefficient of inbreeding. Coefficient of inbreeding, and that is denoted by F. So definition 1, this is general definition. Defined as the relative reduction, this is relative reduction in proportion of heterozygosity. Okay, so if I write F is equal to H naught minus HT upon H naught. What is H naught? H naught is initial क्या बोलेंगे इसको? Initial proportion of the heterozygous. And HT is what? Proportion after T generation. Proportion proportion after T generation. Okay, next is, so this, suppose earlier proportion is 1 by 2. Okay, then in next generation HT is equal to 1 by 4. Now what is the inbreeding coefficient? So 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4 upon 1 by 2. What it will be? 4, 2 minus 1 divided by 1 by 2. So it will be 1 by 4 into 2, that is 1 by 2. So this will be the inbreeding coefficient. Okay, so this THT is what? Proportion after T generation. So this is general definition. If I take P, capital P is equal to 1 minus F. So this P is known as Penn-Miktic index. 1 minus F, remember this. So 1 minus H naught minus HT upon H naught. So this will be, after calculating, I will get HT upon H naught. So this P's Penn-Miktic index is the ratio of the proportion of heterozygosity at after T generation and initial heterozygosity. So it is known as relative heterozygosity, or it is also known as Penn-Miktic index. Okay, so this is important regarding this inbreeding, Penn-Miktic index. Now second definition is all about general definition on the basis of heterozygosity proportion. Second definition is inbreeding definition due to the Swell-Wright definition. Swell-Wright definition. So it is, according to the Swell-Wright, inbreeding coefficient F is the correlation between uniting gametes. Uniting gametes. Suppose these are my gametes. Two gametes are there, and there I am writing Z and Z prime. Okay, so these gametes are uniting gametes. They will unite and they will make a zygote. And the correlation coefficient between this GG prime is nothing but it is our inbreeding coefficient. So what is the formula? That is covariance of Z prime upon sigma Z sigma G prime. Okay, so this is a Swell-Wright definition of coefficient of inbreeding. That is nothing but correlation between uniting gametes. Correlation between uniting gametes. Now, if we consider a basic population like capital A, small a, small a, small a, small a, and the frequency is to P square, 2PQ, and Q square. Now, if I consider one gamete, this here, and the value, I am assuming the value Z of G prime 1 and 0. Okay, for A and small a. A and small a, and here it will be my Z prime. So I am writing 1 0 1 0 here. So this is p square plus I am writing epsilon. This will be pq minus epsilon, pq minus epsilon, and q square plus epsilon. Because total should be p and here total should be q. Similarly, here total should be p and q. So that's why we will add this epsilon. So see here, if we add this p square plus epsilon, see here if I write p square plus epsilon plus pq minus epsilon, so this will cancel out. We will remain with p square plus pq. If I take the common p, then p plus q, and this is 1, so we will remain with p. So that's why we are doing these changes. Now, if we calculate this, f is equal to covariance of gg prime upon sigma g prime. Now, I have made it as a Bernoulli trials of success and failure. So, and this covariance, if I calculate, this will come over epsilon, and this sigma g sigma p is nothing but means I can write p and q just like in Bernoulli distribution, remember. So we can write f is equal to, sorry, this epsilon is equal to fpq. From this equation I can write epsilon is equal to fpq, and so f is equal, and what is f? F is equal to epsilon upon pq. So after this, our new population, capital A, capital A, capital A, small a, small a, small a. Remember this, this is very important line, this one. So the frequency after, I can say that after this inbreeding, it will be p square plus fpq, 2pq, 1 minus f, and q square plus fpq. So this is important. If it is given that calculate the frequencies after inbreeding. Okay, so this is known as Wright's equilibrium law. Suppose in the exam it is given that f is given some value, and then calculate the frequency of this. So you can calculate by this p square plus fpq, 2pq, 1 minus f, and q square plus fpq. Okay, so this is very much important. Now, okay. Now we will move to the next. That there is North Carolina designs. So have you heard this designs, North Carolina designs? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
So there are three North Carolina design: NC1, NC2, and NC3. North Carolina 1, North Carolina 2, North Carolina 3. On actually there is one research station in North Carolina. So on the that they did the research on the different matings. On the basis of different matings, they named on the North Carolina designs. So basically, North Carolina 1 is, if I write in very short, objective point of view. So here in North Carolina 1, the crosses between one male can cross with more than one female. One male can cross with more than one female. Wait a minute, I have a call. Okay, so in North Carolina, one design, one male can cross more than one female, just like in North Carolina 2, that's just opposite that one female can cross with more than one male. And North Carolina third, in which randomly selected genotypes in F2 as males to backcross with each of the two parent. Each of the two parents involved in the cross. So क्या होगा कि F2 जो जनरेशन है उसको हम एज ए मेल कंसीडर करेंगे. ओके, जिससे सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज फीमेल क्रॉस मेल एंड F1 जनरेशन आया. फिर F1 के बाद हम F1 के बाद क्या करेंगे, सेल्फिंग. ठीक है, सेल्फिंग करने के बाद हमको क्या मिलेगा, F2 जनरेशन, इजंट इट. सो F2 जनरेशन की जो ऑफ स्प्रिंग है, ऑफ स्प्रिंग जो F2 जनरेशन की, that offspring will consider as male, and this F2 progeny will back cross to the parents and we will consider involved in that particular cross. So this will be known as North Carolina design 3. Okay, now if I represent it diagrammatically, wait a minute. It is given by Comstock and Robinson. So suppose this is A, B, C, and these are male. So I told you that one male can cross more than one female. So, and these are more than one female, D, E, F. Just to remember, I have taken this example. So we will get AD, AE, likewise AF. Okay. So similarly, B is the male and they can cross with any of the female, GHI, likewise JKL. So these are males. One male can cross more than one female. Okay. So this is known as North Carolina Design 1. Second one, North Carolina 2. Each member of a group of parents used as a male is mated to each member of the another group of parents as a female. So this is male. Means here more than one female will cross more than one male. So just like I have taken this male here, I will just cross it and I will take it as female and this will male in NC2. Okay, now I am not making again it. In North Carolina 2, this will be the case. Now in NC3, the case will be like A cross B. We will get F1, then we will get F2, and it will be the cross of A cross F2 cross B. Any of the parent. It is a back cross. So this is known as NC3. Okay. So there is so this is basic about the North Carolina design. So if they can ask in the question, they can ask only this type, that one male cross more than one female. What is this this design? So North Carolina 1 design. Likewise, there is another type of mating that is known as line into tester design or analysis. So what is the meaning of line into tester? कोई बता सकता है? किसी को पता है क्या? What is line into tester analysis? Or simple question they will ask in the exam, that in line into tester analysis, what is male and what is female? In line into tester analysis, what is male? This is the advanced topic of the statistical genetics. So this type of means whenever you do the experiment in the breeding or means plant breeding and genetics, so this type of crosses are used to test the make the in the varietal development. So in this, lines are always female and the testers are male. Okay, so lines are, suppose I am having varieties of rice, different rice varieties. Suppose for example, can you tell me what different varieties of rice? Anyone?
IR28.
IR28. Other?
GAR13.
J?
GAR13. 13.
ZAR13. Any other variety?
Pusa Basmati.
Pusa Basmati, right. Just like there is Pant rice 1 likewise, and there is also Pusa something, I'm forgetting the number here. Suppose Pusa 11 for example. So suppose I am taking this number of varieties and few I have selected as a lines and few I have selected as a tester. So on the basis of these tester, I will make cross. So like cross will be like IR8, 28 cross Pantrice, IR28 cross Pusa 11, and GAR cross 13 cross Pantrice. Likewise, we will get different crosses. So on the basis of different crosses, so again we will see that we will study different character like plant height, okay, yield, and different other characters will study. So on the basis of these crosses, we will see that which one is the, and we will see the replicated data R1, R2, R3, R1, R2, R3. Likewise, we will do experiment and we will take that, we will see that which combination is producing good result. So on the basis of this, we can conduct line into tester experiment. So this line into tester is mating, type of mating is given by Kempthorne. Okay, then just a minute. One last important topic is your diallel cross. With this, we will end on the statistical genetics pass. Before diallel, I will tell you one important thing, that is about your correlation between relatives. Remember this table, one or two question will come from this table. So the correlation between full sieves 1/2 correlation, now I'm not writing between half sieve. Calculation is means behind calculation is too much, that's why I'm not going for that. Directly I'm writing the value. Full sieves, the correlation between full sieve is half, correlation between half sieve is 1/4, correlation between uncle and nephew is 1/4, correlation between single first cousin is 1/8, correlation between double first cousin is 1/4, correlation between father and son कितना होगा? कॉमन सेंस 0. There is no correlation between father and son. For father and daughter is 1/√2. Correlation between father and son is 0. Father and daughter is 1/√2. Mother and son is 1/√2. Okay. Then between parent and offspring, direct question can come. Parent on offspring, then mother and son, after mother and daughter. This is 1/2. Son and son, or we can say brothers. Correlation between brothers is 1/2. Daughter and daughter, or we can say sisters. Correlation between sisters is 3/4. And last one is correlation between daughter and son, or we can say brother and sister. Okay, brother and sister, it is 1 by 2. So these are different correlation between relatives. This table is very important. Direct question can come that what is the correlation between half sieve and full sieve. So correlation between full sieve is 1 by 2 and correlation between half sieve is 1 by 4. So basically I'll tell you what is half sieve and what is full sieve. किसी को पता है? What is half sieve and what is full sieve? It is a type of cross. Okay, suppose these are parents. Female, male, female. ठीक है, अभी जब हम क्रॉस करते हैं तो इफ वन पेरेंट इज कॉमन, then we will get one parent is common, then we will get, suppose I am taking this male as common, this male is common for, means this male is common for this cross and this male is common for this cross. So if there is this male is not there, so this male is common, so I can write one parent is common. So this type of cross will generate half sieve. This type of cross will generate half sieve. Likewise in full sieves, they both the parents will be same. Will common. So this is basic about the full sieve and half sieve. So these are the correlation regarding your parent of spring, mother, daughter. So directly they can ask in the exam that what is the correlation between parents and father and son. So this will be 0. Okay, so remember these correlation values. Now we will move to the last topic, that is diallel cross. What is diallel cross? किसी को पता है? Any idea? Any idea diallel cross के बारे में? Basically diallel cross is what? Diallel cross is a set of all possible matings between, कुछ भी हो सकता है, between several genotypes, that can be individuals, clones or homozygous lines, कुछ भी हो सकते हैं. Okay, so I'm writing it is a set of all possible matings between several genotypes. Now there are 4 methods of Griffin approach. If you remember Griffin's approach. Griffin's approach. This is important. So if there are p number of inbred lines, p lines है मेरे पास, in which we will make a cross. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Likewise, p lines I am having, and their crosses will be like 1 is to 1 into 2, 1 into 3, 1 into 4. Likewise, different crosses will be there. So if I am having p number of inbred lines, then how many crosses will be there? How many total crosses will be there? If I am having P number, suppose I am having two inbred lines only, 1 and 2. So how many crosses will be there? Bolo? Bolo, bolo. There will be how many total number of crosses? There will be P square number of crosses. P square number of total crosses. Like see here, one is 1 2 is there and 1 2 is there. So cross will be 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1 and 2 comma 2. So these are how many crosses? 4 cross. So P invariant lines are there, so total number of crosses will be P square. Okay, now there are 4 methods of Griffins. First one, method 1, it is known as full diallel. Full diallel, or here total number of crosses will be P square, it means all possible cross. All possible crosses will be there. I am considering 1 2 3. Here also 1 2 3. Suppose I am taking, simply I am writing y11, y12, y13, y21, y22, y23, y31, y32, y33. Okay, so this is, what is this type of cross? These are selfing.
Selfing.
Exactly. So this is selfing. And what is this? This is our F1. F1 hybrids of 1 and 2. And this is known as reciprocal. Okay, so 3 type crosses will be there in full diallel. That is one diagonal elements. This is diagonal elements. Diagonal element will represent selfing. Upper triangle, this is known as upper triangle values. This is this will be F1, and lower triangle, that lower diagonal elements will be reciprocal crosses. So this is method 1 of Griffins, in which number of crosses will be P square. Okay. Now second, method 2. And this method is F1 and selfing. So what is F1? F1 is Y11, Y22, Y23, sorry 33, and Y12, Y13, Y23. So in F1, in method 2, the cross with is considered cross is F1 and selfing only. So how many, if there are P lines, then how many crosses will be there? How many crosses will be there? Here the P is equal to 3. So कितने में है? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 number of crosses हैं. अगर हम इसको जनरलाइज करेंगे फॉर्मूले को, so number of crosses will be P into P plus 1 divided by 2. So this formula is important. They can ask in the exam that in method 2 of Griffins, how many total, if P is equal to 3, then how many number of crosses will be there? So F1 and selfing will be there. Now if P is equal to 4, So 4 into 5 divided by 2. So this will be 10 crosses will be there. कैसे? अगर मैं इसको simply if I take 4 by 4 matrix, I will not write the values. This is 4 by 4. Okay. So selfing and upper triangle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 crosses are there. Okay. Got it? So this is regarding method 2 of Griffins. F1 and selfing we will consider in method 2, and the number of crosses is P into P plus 1 by 2. Now method 3. Third method, only F1 and reciprocal. So only F1 and reciprocal are, we will ignore this selfing. We will ignore this selfing one. So there will be y12, y13 and y23, y21, y31 and y32. So how many crosses are there? If p is equal to 3, total number of crosses are 6. But the formula is changed. So total number of crosses in method 3 is p into p minus 1. Okay, so here if p is equal to 4, so number of crosses will be 4 into 3, that is 12. Again we will see by 4 by 4 matrix. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I will ignore this line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, got it? So there will be 12 crosses if we have considering 4. We are considering 4 embedded line. So this is about method 3. Now there is fourth method. In which only F1 crosses are considered. So we will ignore this. I am writing dot only. So here only y12, y13, y23. So if p is equal to 3, number of crosses are 3. If p is equal to 4, how many crosses? The formula is p into p minus 1 by 2. P into p minus 1 by 2. If p is equal to 4, then 4 into 3 by 2, that is 6. कैसे? Again, if we see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this we will ignore, this will ignore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is the answer. Okay. Any doubt in this 4 methods? Is there any doubt in these 4 methods? Please respond. Okay. Now we will move to the that another aspect of this diagonal crosses. So if we have a small inbred lines, suppose in case of we have small number of inbred lines, so then in this case our diallel crosses are preferable. Diallel cross can be used or preferable. But whenever this number of inbred lines will increase, number of lines is increased. So in such situation, this diallel cross will become tedious. There will be too many combinations. Suppose P is number of inbred lines is 50. So total number of crosses are, if I consider complete diallel, so 50 in square, that is 2500 crosses will be there. So in such situation, we will use partial diallel cross. Partial diallel cross. Whenever the number of inbred lines is too high, so in this situation we will go for PDC, that is known as partially diallel cross. And basically this partial diallel crosses are constructed by using different designs, construction of designs like if you remember, if you know that Latin square design, then group divisible design, and factorial design is also there. So by using this, we will make this partial diallel crosses. That is not so important for this point of view. Just we will have to remember that partial diallel cross is used when number of inbred lines are too much. Okay. Now we will see that the comparison of this type of design means crosses, the comparison of the performance of different lines can be very well explained or made by the different line can be made by different combining abilities. If you remember the term, different two combining abilities. कौन कौन सी combining abilities हैं?
General and specific.
Yes, general combining ability. And second one is specific combining ability. General and specific. Now it is okay, sound? My voice is okay, Rakesh?
Sir, not clearly. Sort of sound. Yes, sir.
Is it okay now? I think remaining, Gaurav, am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir. At that time, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So these two combining abilities are there to compare the performance of different inbred lines. So that is general combining ability and specific combining ability. So the general combining ability, if we say GCA, general combining ability of an inbred line is defined as the average performance of the hybrids which this line produces with other lines chosen from a random mating population. Okay, so what is means, suppose this is particular line, or I can say this is a particular individual. I want to check this combining ability of this particular line. So what I will do, I will select another parent. Suppose this is I'm considering is as male. So from random mating population, I will take one female. This is female, and after making cross, this F1 hybrid will generate. So what is general combining ability of an inbred line? This is my inbred line, is defined as the average performance of the hybrid. Abhi what we will check the average performance of this. Average performance of F1 hybrid. और ये F1 hybrid किसने प्रोड्यूस किया है? That line which we are taking, line produced with other lines chosen from the random mating population. So this is known as general combining ability. So the formula of that variability of this general combining ability GCA is equal to 1 by 2 sigma square A plus 1 by 4 sigma square AA. Remember this formula, this is very much important. Directly they can ask in the question what is GC, sigma square GCA. So this is half sigma square A. A is representing here additive genetic effect. A is additive genetic effect. Now, just like this additive and this general combining ability, now we will move to the specific combining ability, that is SCA. Ability SCA. So here I am considering only one inbred line of an inbred line, okay? But specific combining ability refers to a pair of inbred line involves in the cross. So it indicates cases in which certain combination do relatively better or worse than would be expected on the basis of average performance of the two lines. अभी ये क्या है? Suppose these are pair of inbred line. Okay, if we see individually average effect of its hybrid, एवरेज इफेक्ट इसका हाइब्रिड मतलब हम कैसे इसका, suppose this is my inbred line and we have taken another parents from the random mating and we have crossed it and we have checked average effect. Now this is my and this is I have taken another parent from the random mating, I have crossed it and I have checked the average effect. And second thing, I have crossed in between. So individually, if we say that, it indicates the cases in which certain combination do relatively better or worse than would be expected on the basis of average performance of the two lines involved in the cross. So we will check here also F1 will come. So we will compare all the effects and we will say that this is performing better or not, this combination. So it is defined as the deviation. It is defined as the deviation of the performance of the cross from the expectation on the basis of the average GCA effects of the two lines involved. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे अभी मैं इसको इंडिविजुअली अगर मैं एवरेज इफेक्ट इसका कैलकुलेट करूंगा, so this will be the general combining ability of this inbred line and this will be the general combining ability of this inbred line, cross of this inbred line. But whenever we will take this cross, so there will be deviation in the performance. So this deviation in the performance of the inbred line from the expected value on the basis of the average GCA effect of the two lines involved is known as specific combining ability. So sigma square SCA is equals to sigma square D plus half sigma square AA plus sigma square AD plus sigma square DD. So क्या है ये dominant deviation? This is additive genetic effect. This is interaction effect between additive and dominant, and this is the combined effect of dominant deviation. So this formula is for sigma square SCA. Okay. Now if we see the relation between GCA and SCA into the variance, so we will get after calculation sigma square G is equal to 2 sigma square GCA plus sigma square SCA. यहाँ पे मल्टीप्लाई 2 करेंगे, इसमें मल्टीप्लाई 2 then plus this, then we will get sigma square G. You can check it. Okay, so this is all about your diallel cross and partial diallel cross basic concept and regarding your GCA and SCA. Okay, with this we have covered almost all the topics of the statistical genetics advanced as well as first portion. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Now tell me which another topic I should cover from your point of view. Multivariate. Anything else? Anyone? Gaurav? Sampling. Okay. Design of experiment. Tell me just one topic combinedly. Selection index. Okay, I will cover in next class, no problem. Selection index I will take in next lecture. So in next lecture I will take on Saturday, and we will start with sampling. So I will not go in the detail of the sampling because there are too much. There is too much of the derivations and all in the sampling. So I will go very briefly and conceptually with the sampling, and I will try to complete the sampling portion in that Saturday Sunday class. Okay. And after that, if we get time, I will cover this multivariate and design of experiment also. Okay. So with this, I am stopping today. And Gaurav, you asked that what is survival analysis, phylogeny analysis of molecular variance. It is not so important. That's why I am not covering it. This MOVA and all this is not so important. That's why I skip this topic. No problem. The question will not come. I will cover this selection index and phylogeny. Phylogeny. Two things I will cover in the next lecture, and we will start sampling in the next class. Okay. So with this, we have completed your statistical genetics. Keep means do practice. Keep these notes and start reading the notes from the beginning so that you will get things clearly. Okay. Bye then.